I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002. There's a look inside. Crosby on now to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
So here are the Chiefs now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers. Because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown pass.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So, I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
He's got Jake Butt as tight end. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down. A look now at the starters on the defensive side for the... Lions, they were quite formidable in the win over the Eagles a week ago.
This defense has a lot to be proud of coming off of the game they played last week. When you only give up 14 points in a game, not only do you give your team a chance to win, you fully expect to win because you figure your offense is going to score more than that.
He gets it to Brown, complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. First down for the Chiefs, solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Looking to throw on second down. Wilson, open receiver. That's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. They'll get 5 on the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a third down. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, Wilson, and that's knocked away and incomplete. The linebacker, Demario Davis, got a hand in to break that one up.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on third downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. Flush to his right. He may try and run. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. And they're going to come up empty here on 4th down. So they tried it. Not only did they not get the first, they fumbled it away.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it went from bad to worse, but I know that everyone's going to pile in on the call and say, well, what are you doing? Why would you go for it there? I think the teams that are convinced that they feel pretty good about their game plan, what they want to get done that day, go for it. Give it a try. Hey, let's see if your defense can rescue them a little bit.
And a nice little broken tackle run there by Todd Gurley, the 10th pick in the 2015 draft.
And that's what you get with him, that full package of speed, power, able to catch the ball in the backfield. Many people doubted him coming out because of the knee injury in college. They're seeing the full Todd Gurley now, and it hurts.
The numbers in last week's contest for Ingram: 6 catches, 72 yards.
And they think they have a matchup advantage in this one. They're going to try and find some space for him to work and make sure he touches the football.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Now Brady. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And he is going to lose yardage here. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in.
Okay, I'm not so great at math, but I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust? And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Dante Pettis, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And there.
Here.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
Here we go.
And the Chiefs now getting set to go. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance. And to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Wilson to throw. Gets this to his running back. That's Jalen Samuels. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Lions 7, Chiefs nothing.
58. Mike, 58 right there. Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Here's Wilson. Throw left side complete. That's Grant. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. Well, throw on first down with Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. They run. Devontae Freeman. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down to the backfield. Well, I guess they wanted to get that touchdown right back on their first drive, but failed to do so.
And what they have to be careful of is pushing so hard to stay right there, to stay even with their opponent, that they gas themselves out. You know, it's almost like horse racing. Sometimes
it got his man complete. That goes for a gain of 31.
Let's go.
But we spent a lot of time. I'm exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
Come on, fellas.
A gain on the play.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Here's Gurley. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Here's Brady to throw, and that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play. Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
So the missed field goal, and now they're in great shape. They'll start at the 38. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. To Gabriel, middle of the field. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Wilson. Man open left side is Brown. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. They've been burned twice already on fourth down, but the third time's the charm as they keep the drive moving. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Running right, this is Freeman. Demario Davis there on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the gun, it's Wilson. Dancing to his left. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for third down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The Chiefs on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. Here it's 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Steps away to his left. He can run for it, and he will. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
Check 55, Mike.
On first down, Wilson being chased out left. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Well, this has been a good march down the field, but now they're stuck looking at a 2nd and 14. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Flushed out right. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. It'll be a gain of 9, and that's going to lead to a third down. The Chiefs on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
25. 58, right over there.
Now Wilson, operating from the gun. Forced out to his left. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So now 4th down looming. Remember, these guys went for it on their last drive, but it didn't work out.
Even though it didn't work out, I would not be surprised at all if they went ahead and did it again.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Darn right.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 46. They'll wind up with 3 yards out of that, and it's 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another 1st down. Into the red zone, it's Brady. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this 3rd quarter.
Alabama, 380. Check that. 128.
Brady. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Todd Gurley standing by as lonesome in the backfield here. 2nd and goal. And this is Shepard on the jet sweep. And the Chiefs D closes in on him again, and they drop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Dante Pettis. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Yeah, they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Now Wilson on first down. Eluding the pressure right. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval. It's a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. Buying time to his left. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down. Got out of the pocket, didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it, live to fight another down.
Dancing to his left. That's complete, right around the 8. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
Here comes Tom Brady and the Patriot offense back onto the field. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to face a third down.
Wait, that 53.
Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. Now Brady on the bootleg. And he's got Fitzgerald. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down, got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. Brady, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Give them 14 on that one and a 1st down. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 42-yard line. Brady's throw there complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Brady, open man right side is Ingram. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches. Oh, no, he lost the football, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And he has brought this one back. A fumble recovery for a Chiefs touchdown. So they were down by a touchdown, probably just hoping the defense could hold them, maybe force the punt. Instead, they forced the turnover and take it into the house.
Well, the plan was perfect. That's exactly what they wanted. Instead, they got a lot more than that. Big-time capitalization by taking the ball away and putting it in the end zone.
His pass caught at the 4. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. He's going to sling this deep downfield. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again. Brady is complete to the tight end play. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. Throw left side is reeled in by Hamilton. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And this defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And Brady's throw there incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. Now it's Gurley. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. 2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential as well. 2 points here in the fourth quarter. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They're facing a critical third down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Now Gurley. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. Here comes the Lions punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Here comes Grant on the return. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. So Russell Wilson in the offense. Down by 2. A minute 45 to play. And they need about 35 yards to get in range for a winner as they come up on first down. Back to throw. Steps away to his left. He finds an opening past the 40. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the first, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movements. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to do what we call flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time.
A good pick up there of 20 yards.
58, come on.
Yeah, let's get second.
Here's Wilson. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Kenny Clark in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. They go play action with Wilson. Steps away. And this is incomplete. The intended receiver, Tavon Austin. And now it's third down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A gain of 22. He's been quiet all afternoon. He may have just come up with a play of the day right there, though.
Obviously, it's not the volume in what you get done. It's the quality, and that was a quality catch right there.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. And his kick is good. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. He hasn't missed a kick all year. Why would he start now?
That's a great question, isn't it? Well, maybe because that was the most nerve-wracking kick he had to attempt all year. But he knocked it through just like it was an easy chip shot.
And with time of factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance.